Hi there, I'm Natalie from Steelsoft. I'm so glad to be a part of this global charity event and have the ability to share my experience with you. I'd like to say a few words about me and my company. Steelsoft is a Platinum Marketplace partner and Silver Solution partner. We have more than 11 years of experience in the Atlassian ecosystem, and we have more than 25 apps on the Atlassian Marketplace. Our most popular apps are Table Filter and Charts for Confluence and Awesome Graphs for Bitbucket. I'm a product manager of the Table Filter and Charts for Confluence app. The entire event is dedicated to the project management world. Despite the PM's job responsibilities and skills may vary in different companies, all the project managers initiate, plan, execute, monitor and close projects. And various tools and platforms help them to resolve their everyday tasks. Today I'm going to tell you about the most helpful out-of-the-box Confluence macros and features, and also say a few words about the ways of enhancing these native features to gain more value from working in Confluence. Also, someone may say that Confluence is a documentational system, it's not a project portfolio management system. I disagree with this opinion. Because Atlassian ecosystem with all its platforms allows maintaining the complete project lifecycle. For example, in Jira we store, prioritize, link within different versions, sprints, projects, our tasks, but it's not so good tailored for documenting our work. And in Confluence, we, as a rule, create separate pages or even spaces for each task, project, version, sprint, and so on. And Confluence allows us to create and work on some content together and move our projects forward. So let's stick to the point and start exploring. I personally prefer live demos, and today I'm going to show you all the features and tools live as we usually do on our apps demos. Okay, the first part is documenting our work. Confluence starts with a page, and you can use the Confluence interface only or learn some shortcuts that speed up creating and editing pages. The first feature I'd like to talk about is page templates. Based on tremendous experience and customers' use cases, Atlassian suggests more than 100 templates for all teams and roles. Unfortunately, you can use page templates only when adding a page. It's not possible to apply a template to an already existing page. Regarding templates, I'd like to mention that you can create your own templates in the space administration section or edit the existing ones. One more useful feature when talking about templates is creating a button with the help of which you can quickly add a new page with a selected template. First of all, we fill in data about our project. To make our Confluence pages more appealing, we can add different emoticons to the page headers and even to add page covers. To fill in the basic data about our project, we can use different content types. For example, we can use user mentions. You need to type and select a user from the drop-down list, or start typing its name and select it. The second option is inserting dates with the help of the native date picker. You need to type 2 slashes and select the date from the calendar. And the third content type I'd like to tell you about is statuses. You can use statuses by typing slash and adding the corresponding macro. You need to manually to add some status label and select status color. Now we have some metadata of the project. I want to show one more feature that allows you to collect data and create a project portfolio later. This is the page properties report macro. And to create this report, we now need to add the page properties macro to our page and place our table with the project metadata into this page properties macro. You will see later what we can do with this macro. You may also need to specify some tasks related to the given project. There is a native task list feature. We use it almost everywhere for meeting follow-up action items, retrospective tasks, for project planning tasks, and much more. We can select the option from the editor's panel, or we can just type 2 square brackets and start our task list. All the features such as user mentions, dates, statuses work in the task lists as well. Let's move further. The template suggests us specify more details. For example, we can add some requirements to our page. I'd like to make an accent on one more I suppose uncommon feature. This is the default project roadmap. We can add it by typing planner, and in this project roadmap we manually add swim lanes, define tasks and dates, and we configure each item manually. And it can be a good overview of how your project goes. One more type of content that you can add to your project page is Jira data. If we already have a corresponding Jira project, we can display Jira data on our page with the help of the Jira Issues macro or any of the native Jira gadgets that include multiple charts. To output a list with Jira issues, we need to type some JQL into the macro configuration, or we can just copy and paste a link to our favorite filter from the Jira project. We can configure the table view of our Jira macro. We can select what columns to display. Let's configure it according to our needs. Our first project page is ready and we can publish it. And the last thing we need to specify on our page is page label. We can add an existing label or create a new one. And the second part of our session is organizing and reporting. Of course, we do not usually have only one solo project. We can store dozens of pages dedicated to different projects, requirements, tasks, meetings, and so on. And here starts the reporting magic of Confluence that I love the most. I'll show you how you can collect specific and related content together, so you have a bird's eye view of what's going on with projects, tasks, and any other content type. Let's start with the page properties report. Do you remember that we inserted page properties, placed the project data inside and added a label? Then now we can collect all the separate project pages that have the same project metadata tables and the same labels in one report. We insert the page properties report macro, specify the label, and the report is here. We see the list of all the projects. We can click any of them and see the page with details. Let's move to the second report. When you have tons of tasks across your Confluence instance, you can collect them on one page. To keep track of all the tasks across specific pages, spaces, or people, you can create a task wrap-up using the task report macro. We insert this macro and specify some settings. Please note that one macro can display only complete or only incomplete tasks. That's why we copy and paste this macro to display both types of tasks here. The third option of organizing report I'd like to share with you is looking for the same content by page labels. We have three options. First of all, we can just click some label on some page and see the list of all the related content, all the pages with the same label. The second option is when you use the default Confluence search, you can filter content by labels. And the third option here is to insert the content by label macro that will display all the pages that have the same label that you need. And you can use it to create something like databases of your content. Okay, now when we have explored the native functionalities that help project managers every day, almost every day, we can see what you can do additionally with this content, with these reports, with the help of the table filter macro. We will compare the pages we just created and we'll see how we can enhance them. So this is the first project page, and here we see different macros and reports. Here you can see the page with some advanced features that comes together with our app. For example, we can replace our manually created table with project requirements by the page properties report macro that collects data about all the requirements that you can store separately on different Confluence pages. You can add to each of these requirements descriptions, all the needed data, and gather them into one huge report on some master page, like we did here. Instead of native project planning tool, we can use the Gantt chart type from the chart from table macro. The Gantt chart type displays all the tasks related to your project and displays them on a timeline. All you need is source table with tasks names and start and end date. And the third upgrade that we made on this page is the Jira Issues macro. Now you can see that it's not only a list of tasks pulled from Jira, but this is grouped values. We can see how many tasks are in progress and are in the backlog of our contributors. And you can quickly visualize this data. When you use charts created with the help of the chart from table macro, you can click on any sector or any bar, and the source table will be filtered for better viewing and analyzing. And now let's see what we can add to our reports, the page properties report and the task report macros. First is the page properties report macro. Now in our project portfolio, you can see that you can quickly filter by the project drivers and you can filter them by due dates. And here we have the pie chart and a pivot table based on this macro. And finally, with the help of our macros, our task report turned into almost a calendar where we grouped our tasks by assignees and grouped due dates of our tasks by months. And here we can have a quick overview of all the tasks that are completed or incompleted. As you can see, we used here our two macros, one for completed and one for incompleted tasks. With the help of all these native tools and features, we create structure. We can organize all the information about our projects on Confluence pages. But with the help of the third-party apps and tools, we can analyze this data, we can see our workload, find bottlenecks, and actually close our projects successfully. So that's all from me.